Healthy Swag is a movement to holistically empower Black men to take charge of their healthcare and thrive in every aspect of their lives. We will strive to educate, entertain, and spark meaningful conversations that fearlessly intertwine healthcare with diverse topics such as pop culture, sports, relationships, fatherhood, work, politics, and even sex. Together, we will break barriers, shatter stereotypes, and create a paradigm shift that uplifts Black men to new heights of success. Join us as we engage valuable insights and knowledge. How's your swag?
Brought up, Quentin.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Let's do it official because everything sounds good.
Yeah. So we were talking about just the transition that we're making with our kids now being in college. And I have two boys. I know you guys both have a girl, and both are in college. And just the differences that we have in our approach to parenting kind of adult-like kids. And so you said something earlier, Isaac, that kind of surprised me in your approach to your daughter. I mean, it was just sort of like, hey, well, I'll let you you kind of go into your advice. Like you kind of basically said like, hey, don't do anything you're not proud of, and just kind of generalities.
Oh, that's not what I said.
Okay.
Now I know what you're referring to.
Correct me.
And this goes back to high school. I said, look, just don't do anything that's not your decision. Don't let any boy, man convince you into doing something you don't want to do. And what I was leaving open was you can do whatever you want to do. That's between you and your God. That's between you and your boyfriend. That's between you and only you know what that does to your reputation around the school. Only you know how you can trust whatever boy is wherever, and only you know that. And I trust you to make those decisions. Now I always end all my sex talks with my kids with wear a condom, because there's no negotiation there. There's no negotiation. But I was trying to address this what happens to females when they are sexually active. The reputation around school and everything, and I just had to come to the recognition that I don't know. I have no counsel for her. I have no counsel. So just make sure whatever you do is intentional, is what you want to do. It's by choice. And I'm not talking about rape. I'm talking about this is who I am and this is what I want for me. This sexual activity. Or just,
how old was she when you had this?
So I gave her that talk. I thought she was 15. Literally after we recorded and talked about it, Quentin, I referenced it to her, and she was like, "Dad, I don't remember that conversation." I said, "Well, then let's do it again."
Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. So yeah, that's a pretty enlightening approach. I don't know, Columbus. Do you have an approach, or
I'm definitely not that enlightening. That's for sure. But that's the yin and the yang between me and my wife. So my wife is much more kind of open and transparent. From my perspective, I hit her kind of similar but different. It's just, what's your brand? Who do you? You're becoming who you're going to be.
Yeah. Like
every decision you make right now is laying the foundation for who you're going to be in the future. And so, you can't take any decision really lightly, especially in today's day and age. So when we were coming up, it was different. We didn't have social media where stuff just took on the whole viral nature, and stuff could be out there. Your stuff is going to be out there for perpetuity at this point in time. Yeah. So that's some of the stuff I really, I talked to her about. And
did you have the actual sex talk with her, or did you leave that to mom?
I took more of a scientific approach when they were younger. So they were like, "Man, we were falling asleep, Dad. What were you talking about?" So their mom actually probably broke it down a little bit more transparent with them. But the main thing is I just told my daughter, dudes, I don't care if they're in the friend zone or not, you know what they're about. If there's an opportunity, they're going to jump in at it. Period. That's it. And anything they can do to get at that, that's what they're going to do.
And so
that's a shame, but it's true.
But women are in this position at all ages where they have to judge our intentions and our longevity and our, are they going to be around tomorrow? And I have no advice for these women, for my girl about that. I have no advice. I just know it's unrealistic to think that she's going to snap it down and there's going to be no activity until she's married. Those days are gone.
Dude, how do you like? I mean, God knows how much we can bear. So I don't have any daughters, but like, how do you like? Do you have to disassociate yourself in some way as a father, thinking about, my daughter may being sexually active and just her as a person? Let me separate myself from that thought, that feeling. Or like, how do you navigate that?
Bro, I'm about to give you another shocking statement. I dealt with that a long time ago. I dealt with it because first, my daughter's mature. She's always been mature. Mm-hmm. And I dealt with it from the aspect of, I want her to be a whole individual when she is an adult, career-wise, socially, marriage-wise, and to be a whole wife. You have to be good at sex.
Wow.
So I had to come to grips with, she has got to get good at that. And so I got to either stop thinking about it, but I can't act like I'm going to be feel a certain way if I find out no, she's got to experiment. She's got to try. She's got to date. She's got to do that. So you let it happen. On her terms.
Okay. So how we become an expert at something is through practice, right?
Yeah.
Repetition.
Yeah.
So that repetition can take place in many particular instances, right? So if we look at the leap from Kevin Garnett, from Kobe Bryant, from high school into the NBA, there may be a little bit of stuttering, but you can still become a Hall of Famer, even though you don't go through that process of college. So she doesn't. So my daughter, she don't have to go through the trials and tribulations of testing the water a whole lot to still become an all-star when it matters.
True. Well, I mean, because a phrase I like to say is that it's wild up in these streets, and it's wild up in these streets. Like, man,
it is.
People, you don't come home with something you didn't leave with. So it's just, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong if you're sort of letting them test the market in a major way. I don't know. I mean, I don't have to have these discussions.
Columbus skipping college, or where she goes to college, or who she picks, those are her decisions.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. The one thing, and this is what we talked about, I think before, Quentin, we may have discussed this, is that I told my daughter, you're going to make choices that you regret, or you may call them mistakes. Mm-hmm. That doesn't determine my love for you. Right. My love, it doesn't matter about those things. It's just where we learn from it. How are we moving through life? What types of decisions? What kind of person are you going to become? The one thing that's interesting, and maybe I was just too naive back in the day, but kids nowadays, they call it how many bodies you got.
Right.
But that's deep when you start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's because you carry that with you continually. Now, you may carry it in form of a disease state. Yeah. You may carry it in terms of a psych issue, a mental issue, that you're in this state where you're kind of thinking about the other person, or past transgressions, or maybe this other person was better than my current husband, whatever, that just stays with you forever.
Yeah.
And those stuff, bodies with social media, not only do they stay with you mentally, they just hang around on the internet. More than our generation,
Yes.
Whatever you did in high school, nobody knows what I did in high school.
Correct. Right.
But those pictures are around, and it's
I'm concerned that it's so casual now, and it's just so, like, I don't know if kids really understand the soul connection, the tie that you have with someone when you share your body, and I try to tell my kids, like my boys, like, hey, like, strap it up, same way, but like you are leaving pieces of yourself with, you know, and the reason why y'all can't leave each other alone, or the reason why, you know, there's just something, because you guys have a connection, you know, and a connection that was meant to be in a certain context. And this is what happens when it's not, you know. And I don't know. I hope that because it's so casual now, and women tend to be just as aggressive, it seems, as men are, that when it comes time for that covenant relationship, that they will be ill-equipped to deal with that, you know, because of how casually they treated everything else before that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I sit there and I think the last point I'll make with this is that when we sit here, and I remember a kid growing up, I always would look forward to the holidays because I would get the special thing that I couldn't have throughout the year. When I became an adult, I could have it whenever I wanted. So it kind of lost its shine. It lost its specialness, its flavor that's there. And, you know, to some degree, there may be components of that, because that dovetails into another aspect of things that folks struggle with, is that, like you said, I mean, the internet's full of just images, and you're seeing people and you're thinking that this is what sex is supposed to be about, or beauty is supposed to be about, because what you're seeing out there, and everything becomes like warped and distorted. So it's definitely not a simple discussion.
No, and I like to continue it on the next time, just to maybe think about best practices to convey a certain message without sounding preachy, but just, you know, these are our kids, you know, we do care about we do want them to have successful marriages. So, you know, we need to figure that out, how to talk to them in that way. But thanks guys for the session.
Thanks. It's good.
We'll do it again on the Healthy Swag.
All right.